Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the 28-piece 2015 limited edition Ulysse Nardin Marine Perpetual, a timepiece that is larger than life at 45.8 millimeters on the wrist, a combination of stainless steel and vulcanized rubber with a few touches of ceramic and sapphire mixed in. It is a mighty multi-material machine, and as you can see on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, the watch wears quite easily in spite of its size. Though it is thick at 15.3 millimeters, it's not quite as thick as I anticipated. There are two ways to measure this watch across the wrist. Now you can see the watch is a 49.7 millimeter lug-to-lug, but if you include the conforming end profile rubber inserts, they actually expand the watch to a rigid and somewhat intimidating 59.2 millimeters across the wrist. But because of the hybrid strap bracelet system that is quadruple articulated, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment, I would actually recommend this watch for wrists as small as 15 centimeters in circumference. It fits easily and comfortably on my wrist. The spacing between the lugs, if you wish to accessorize with a different strap, is 22 millimeters. Now the timepiece has a idiosyncratic but effective and distinctive Ulysse Nardin strap bracelet hybrid. As you can see, the conforming end profile link should create rigidity and fight a small wrist, but the quality of its double articulation, that is two hinges, means that it can pull straight down around a small wrist, and you can see that to advantage from this vantage point. Also, the inserts themselves, highly scratch resistant in ceramic, are designed to go the distance, and if you replace the strap, you keep the links. I like that longevity. Now you can see there are many opportunities to cut this strap to length, and it does thin out considerably on its underside. So this lovely natural vulcanized rubber vanilla scented matte finish strap can be sized precisely with several different anchoring points inside both sides of the clasp, so even after you cut it you do have a little bit of adjustability. Now there's a double folding titanium clasp with an outer shell of ceramic, so the scratch resistance of ceramic protects the external clasp from being disfigured, scratched, or scuffed. There is a twin trigger release system, and the twin triggers ensure that this cannot accidentally pop open. The titanium ensures that it's both hypoallergenic and light in weight. You'll also note the use of spring-loaded ceramic pin snaps internally, which is a touch that I happen to adore as it ensures long-wearing durability and tight tolerances over time for this clasp. Now I'll also mention that the case itself is rubber coated, and it is vulcanized rubber, a lot like the AP rubber clad, but more so, as the entire bezel, case, and crown wrapped in rubber, and Ulysse Nardin has been doing these for over a decade now. I have yet to see one of these ragged and coming apart. They seem to endure amazingly well, with 10-year-old sheaths still intact and factory. They are also remarkably scratch and scuff resistant, far more so even than ceramic. You'll appreciate the fact that the case is relatively complex in its form, with the lugs broken out dramatically, but you can also see how the lugs have a little bit of a concave profile, and the case itself slopes down from the bezel and thins out as it approaches its case back. There is a number plate, lacquered and bolt fixed, showing you the edition number of the 28, and this is a nod to Ulysse Nardin's marine chronometer heritage, when the deck clocks, the navigation clocks on ships, would actually feature individual numbering fixed by bolts on their side, and you can see that the bolts themselves are fired to a lovely violet blue. The bezel features 55 sapphires, and they are real sapphires, not blue spinel. There is one that is brilliant cut, acting as the index for the bezel, and then there are 54 others that are baguette cut, and you can see that these handset gems contrast with the soft rubber of the case and the bezel. It's an interesting juxtaposition, and it works well as a subtle two-tone of blues and blacks. Now listen to the bezel turn. It's a good action. I compare it favorably with the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. Now of course you can line up that index with the minute hand, and now you have an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer. You're going to have to estimate, but you do have rough gauges that allow you to more or less use the bezel as a timing instrument, if not perhaps diving life-saving equipment. I will also mention that the dial of this one is extravagant. You can see that it is an open-worked design, I should say open-wrought, to keep everything in its proper tense, and it's a combination of whites and silvers, blues and blacks, and there's a wave motif, a sort of window or sheath sitting over the discs of the Perpetual calendar system. The contrast and the legibility are high. As you can see, the indices are easy to read against the dial base. Now the watch features the Ludwig-Axelin bidirectional Perpetual calendar system. Unscrew the screw down crown, pull it out to its intermediate position, and you can see how I'm able to turn the Perpetual calendar forward and backwards. And I'm able to do this while adjusting the double-digit date, the month, the day, and it features both the year and the decade. This is a very, very complete Perpetual calendar system. Inside the case, protected to 200 meters, Ulysse Nardin, manufactured caliber 33. Let me pop it open. This is a 48-hour automatic winding power reserve that uses a magic lever winding system, bidirectional action that you can actually see through a skeletonized bridge, a circular cote de Genève on the bridges, fire-blued screws. There's an engine-turned perlage on the base plate. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. You'll also note that there's both a sort of rusticated brushing and more orderly satin finish with a lacquered insert on the winding mass, and you can see there are blued screws on the center of the rotor as well as across the movement. A handsome array of black, blue, silver, gold, and violet. An in-house caliber with the 48-hour power reserve that beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It pivots on 34 joules, and again, it features the bidirectional Perpetual calendar system in a dive watch format. This is a watch that is simply a mass of contradictions and wonderful for it. It's almost Dadaist performance art for your wrist. See it and make it yours on the watch box. Ulysse Nardin Marine Perpetual by night.